Alright, welcome back to my Final Fantasy XIV playthrough. Last time we ended up going through some of the Stormblood quests, and I'm back here at Ralgar's Reach, about ready to take the quest Token of Faith from the swarthy resistance fighter. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what's going on. Token of Faith. The swarthy resistance fighter is at wit's end. Damn it all. Where could it have got to? Oh, pardon me, fellow lover of freedom and justice. You haven't seen a word of the destroyer anywhere, have you? Maybe on the ground, as if a certain bloody fool had dropped it. I'd been him. I had it this morning, that much I know for certain, and I've not left the Reach since, so it's got to be around here somewhere. If you got a moment to spare, would you be willing to help me search? I spent some time near the Temple of the Fist earlier, so it might be there. As for me, I'll look around near the officer's pavilion. They're hardly rare, I know, and I could just as easily buy another. But even so, please help me find it. Alright, let's go find the Lord. Word of the Destroyer. I swear I've searched high and low, but it just won't turn up. Word of the Destroyer. A paper word inscribed with a prayer to the patron deity of Alamigo, Ralgar. 7 hells, that's the one. That's my lucky ward. You're a godsend, brother. Before I was born, my mother made a pilgrimage to the Temple of the Fist, where she, like many others, received the blessings of the monks. And then Theodoric came and burned it all to the ground, the mad bastard, and after him came the Garleans, who cared even less for our beliefs. But I still keep the old ways, as do many others, and when my son is born, I'll teach him the stories in the scripture, as my mother taught me. All right. Crossing the Villadina. Alright, Alphino has been making himself useful to the Resistance. I guess I'll take the Savage Materia. And with that, another task is complete. Ah, Holeric, I hear you have been keeping busy. Aye, that he has, and we thank him for it. It pleases me to inform you that our new recruits have completed their initial training and stand ready to contribute. As discussed, Minago, I would have you present my proposal for an assault on Castellum Villadino to General Alden personally. Of course, sir. Are you and yours planning to return to Castle Morans before the operation? If so, why don't we travel together? That seems a fine suggestion, but I must consult my comrades ere we depart. Very well, I'll wait for you at the pass, but not too long. I expect Cryo and Y'shtola will wish to remain here to support the Chirurgians, but nevertheless, we should go and ask them. is on amiss. I see. That would explain the sudden flurry of activity outside. The joint operation marks a turning point in our conflict with the Garleans. For the first time, the resistance in the Alliance shall go on the offensive and attempt to capture an Imperial outpost in occupied territory. Personally, I believe it is imperative that we offer them our full support, as was the case with Ishgard. However, this is not a choice to be made lightly, nor less, no others be halves. This is war, and every scion must decide what part he or she would play. I'll fight for Alamigo, for my father, for Yida. I'm in it to the end. The choice was made for us ere we were born, brother, when the Empire marched on Eorzea. They will stop at nothing to subjugate or slaughter us all. Van Belsar and Van Darnus were but the first to try. Though your fervor is surprising, I cannot dispute your logic. At the risk of repeating myself, I am of course of the same mind. The present situation is untenable and further complicated by the existence of Vilberg's Primal. I believe we have no recourse but to directly and openly intervene. I thought this was a foregone conclusion given our actions thus far, but if you require renewed affirmation, then yes, I am still wholly committed to this cause, for it is ultimately the self-same cause I have served since first I pledged to serve Master Louis Sois and the Circle of Knowing, the salvation of Eorzea by any means necessary. That said, I shall refrain from taking the field on this occasion. There are many here who require further treatment, and doubtless more to come after. I came here for Minfilia, and that hasn't changed. However, I'd like to stay with Y'shtola for now and tend to the wounded. As for you, Allard, you are, to quote our dear friend Lord Edmund, the man who slew Gaius Van Belsar and some half-dozen primals besides. Your presence may be well prove the difference between victory and defeat. Many look to you as a hero, and heap great expectations upon your shoulders, but you, like every scion, must decide for yourself. To be frank, Alfie, this isn't my fight, but I will do what I must. No, I'll fight. The Empire poses too great a threat. Indeed, as you have doubtless seen during your time in the outlying villages, their so-called meritocracy is but a pretext to torture and enslave their lesser subjects. Such is the fate that awaits us all should their expansion continue unchecked. Take care, Y'shtola, Kryl, and do not hesitate to contact us should you require assistance. Please, I would ask that you remain here by Conrad's side. We should go, or Minago will leave without us. Might I persuade you to join us, Allard? Should you wish to give your decision further consideration, Kestra Morins would seem an apt place to do it. You need no answer right away. I am sure I can convince Minago to wait a little longer. So, you will be accompanying us. Full glad am I to hear it. All set? Excellent. Then let us be off. Welcome back, comrades. What news? Greetings, General. I am come at the Commander Kemp's behest to brief you on the latest developments at the Reach. Our recruitment efforts have exceeded expectations. In addition to welcoming many motivated young Alamegans, our ranks have been bolstered by the arrival of a number of experienced veterans, thanks in large part to the efforts of the Scions. As a consequence, we are now able to field half a dozen new units, with more being trained as we speak. Good. I gather Conrad is eager to strike while the iron's hot. Just so, General. He proposes that we begin preparations for a joint operation to capture Castellum Villodinia. Capture Villodinia. That would not be easy. It will, however, be necessary if we are ever to push east towards the capital. There is no profit in delay. It is only a matter of time before the Garleans learn of our plans and summon reinforcements. The Alliance hereby accepts Commander Kemp's proposal. Tell him to take no chances. Bring every able-bodied Alamegan who can wield a weapon. Pippin, I want Villodinia watched. Assesses its defenses. Every fortress has a weakness, and I would know this one's. If there is no objection, General, might the Scions join Marshal Terrapin? By all means, if that is all, let us be about it. Conrad and the General are of one mind, it seems. I only wish I could say the same. While this aggressive strategy may well profit us in the end, what losses we will suffer in the meantime. Anyway, we should speak with the Vice Marshal about this reconnaissance mission and see how he would like to proceed. In crimson it began. Pippin is looking forward to the assault on Castellum Villodinia. Thank you for volunteering to join me. This should be a fairly straightforward reconnaissance mission, so long as we do not have the ill fortune to run afoul of an Imperial patrol. Come, our destination is beyond East End, just north of Villodinia. Really hope that I can get around this way. Bonus. Mountain Grizzly. This ought to be close enough. Now we settle in for a long watch. That said, it would be prudent to keep your weapons at the ready in the event a passing patrol stumbles upon us, or worse. Upon reconnecting past several cutscenes will... Okay. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. Alright.
Excellent. The disposition of the Imperial forces is exactly as expected. I will notify Father. Cannon fire! Where did it come from?
Smoke! There! Is that... Oh gods, it's Ralga's Reach.
It's no use. I think someone's jamming our communications.
You don't think... Could this be part of a coordinated attack?
Too early to draw conclusions. We must abort the assault and return to the Reach at once.
Skulls. This was our plan.
Forward! Forward! Give them no quarter!
You! Traitor! Kinslayer!
You're no kin of mine! Mavrid!
Oh, here we go.
He'll take you!
Well, well. Stand aside, pilots. This one has promise.
Have a care, my lord. She's not like the others.
Do not disappoint me, girl, or I will kill you.
Seven hells! It's him! It's Xenos!
The Viceroy! Oh, you are a dead man! Ah!
So spirited, and yet so empty.
Please run!
Ah, a magical barrier. Alas. It will not save you.
Your shoulder!
Hold the line, Byrolga! Hold the line!
Oh, man. It's getting pretty serious.
Kryl!
Alphino!
We saw the smoke and thought we heard explosions. Are we under attack?
The Imperials were all over us before we realized what was happening. No one knew where to run or what to do. It was chaos. Lise and Master Kemp rallied the guards and bought us enough time to get some of the wounded to safety, but I haven't seen either of them since.
Confound it! If we lose the Reach, this will all have been for naught. Arenvold, can you escort these people to the wall?
Aye, sir.
Our place is at the Reach. We must offer such aid and succor as we are able. Saving lives is now our paramount concern. If we can hold back the Imperials until Father sends reinforcements, we may yet turn the tide.
I'll join you. I've done all I can for these people, and you'll be crying out for a healer in there.
I fear you're right. Come, there is no time to lose. of the flames!
Probably gonna help.
What took you so long? Alpha, no, I need your help! My lord, the prisoners!
See to your men, Pylus.
As you command, my lord.
Your friends were a disappointment. But you will entertain me, will you not?
Yep.
Be gone! Give me something to remember. pathetic.
Seven hells.
Shall we give chase, General?
Nay. There has been enough death this day. See to the wounded.
Aye, sir.
You all right, lad? Best the likes of you. Xenos is not what I took him to be.
Don't you die on me, Ashola! Hold on! Don't worry, it's going to be all right. Alphino, Master Kemp is all yours.
Understood.
Don't just stand there gawping. Hold her down while I work. The worst is past, but without the proper facilities, I can do no more.
Master Kemp too would be better served in the infirmary. Let us take them there without delay.
Give us a hand, would you, Lise?
Of course.
I know you must be exhausted, but there will be others who need our help. Leave these two to us and look to the other wounded.
You did well, Alaric. You saved lives. No matter what happens, remember that. Now then, let's do what we can for the wounded. Every minute counts. The fires fade. The haunted look in Ruban's eyes speaks volumes. See to the wounded, Alaric. If they live, help them. If not, move on. Mifford lies motionless, having breathed his last. Clenched in his fist is a small charm, which you take for safekeeping. He was already cold when I got to him. There was naught I could do. That charm must have been important. You'd best take it to Conrad. Minago, Mifrid, where are you? Mifrid's charm. A small wooden charm Mifrid clenched in his fist as he breathed his last. This is... He's dead, isn't he? Mifrid was a warrior, always thinking about others before himself. He once had an Imperial patrol chase him nigh on 20 moms so that his wounded would have time to escape. His comrades loved him for it, of course, though that only made him worry more. Did you know that he sent his men in the quarry mill away because he thought they were fighting for him and not the cause? Aye, well, he did. The only life he was willing to risk was his own, you see. But that's exactly the kind of man who should be the leader, the kind of man who deserves to survive, not an old fool who's all used up. There's no logic to it, Master Kemp. There never was. There never is. Who stands, who falls, in the heat of battle, we can but do our best, as he did. Mifrid will be sorely missed, aye, but because of his sacrifice, many now live who otherwise would not, and they need us, now more than ever. Aye, that they do. Forgive me. I had high hopes for him, is all. Pippin, bereft of hearth and home, Rhaegar's reach is no longer safe, as Pippin well knows. Our defeat was no near thing. It was total, a humiliation. We were powerless to withstand our enemy's assault, but we cannot afford to dwell on our failure. As Alphino said, it is those who survived whom we must think of now. Rhaegar's reach is no longer safe. The Imperials may have withdrawn, but they could return at any time to finish what they began. We dare not remain here. Those who are not fit to make the journey to Castrum Morens will need to be taken by chocobo carriage, agreed? Good, I shall oversee preparations for the carriages. In the meantime, I would have you scour the infirmary for any supplies that might prove useful during the journey. Forgive me, but it is imperative that I continue preparing medicines for the wounded. If you desire treatment, I must ask that you seek it elsewhere. Oh, I see. In that case, you are free to search the barber and take that which you require. I would not have our people dying en route. I would assist you, but this process demands my undivided attention. Sir, Marshal Terrapin said you might have something for me. Medical supplies. An assortment of potions and potables that may prove invaluable in keeping the wounded alive on the journey back to Castrum Morens. "12 be praised." This should put the driver's hearts at ease. Tell the Vice Marshal we await his orders. Y'shtola and the others are safely strapped in. Don't worry. I'll be by her side the entire time. Thank you, Cryo. I'll walk alongside. They'll need protection in case the Garleans try anything. Hang on, you're injured too, aren't you? Shouldn't you be in one of the carriages? I'm not so frail that I can't make the trip on my own. Besides, there's still work to be done here. I'll see you at the wall when it's finished. As you wish, then let us set forth at once. We shall move as quickly as our comrades' health allows. To Castrum Oriens. Divide and conquer. Conrad is a man struggling to cope with a bitter reality. You saved a good many of my men, and I cannot thank you enough for that. But the fact remains, our forces were decimated, and this state will not be mounting an assault on Castellum Velodine, or anywhere else. We need to be honest with ourselves about our prospects, but first we need to put our affairs here in order. Afterwards, I'll join you at Castrum Oriens. Understood. We will go and speak with General Aldine. Pippin has already departed with the wounded, has he? Good. We have completed our search of the Reach and the surrounding area. As far as we can tell, Xenos and his men returned straight away to Specula Imperatorius after quitting this place. It would seem he's lost interest in us. Which brings us to the most troubling question of all. Not how he found us, but why he chose to spare our lives having done so. In war, you kill or capture your enemy. You don't leave him to fight another day. Only a fool would turn his back and walk away, but Xenos is no fool. Whatever his motive, this is neither the time nor place to think on it. I will leave a token force to watch over the Reach. The rest will fall back to Castrum Oriens. We can discuss our path forward there. Cryo is with Y'shtola. She still hasn't woken up yet, but Cryo says she's through the worst. Given the severity of her wound, we could have hoped for no more. Let us pray she makes a full recovery. We lost a lot of good people, didn't we? I saw it happen when that Skulls commander cut down Mefred. A single blow, and that was it. Everything we fought for, all his hopes and dreams for the future, gone in an instant. And do you want to know the worst part? It wasn't a Garlean who did it. It was an Alamegan. God's help me if I ever know. Not now. Not while the general's waiting. Oh, Lise.
Were it not for the swift actions of the Scions and the Alliance, many more would have died. You risked your lives to save ours, and for that we thank you.
There is no need for thanks. We are allies, are we not?
Aye, just so. Let us not dwell on this tragedy, but look to the future.
The future? I'm sorry, General, but there is no future for us. We've lost too many. Gods, I can still see Mefrid with that woman standing over him. They've ripped the heart out of us, General. They've broken us. Our fight is over.
Master Kemp, please.
I'll always hate them with every fiber of my being. For what they took from us then and now. Our homeland, our freedom, our bloody children.
You mean the Skulls? The youths who fight for Xenos?
Grania Lupi, the Black Wolf's legacy and our shame. A unit made up of children born to Alamegan dignitaries who came of age during the occupation. Sons and daughters of Gir Abania, raised to be proud citizens of the Empire, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. It'd be easy to curse them and call them traitors, but they're our children. Our flesh and blood. If the only way to forge the future we want is to cut down our own, then...
Then what was it all for?
Nargo?
What will you say to the families of the fallen? To the mothers, and the widows, and the orphans? Will you tell them it was all for nothing?
Listen to the girl. We dare not suffer our comrades' sacrifices to have been in vain. Now is the time to steel our resolve and press on, painful though it may be.
And when Xenos comes back with his army, what then? This isn't the first time, you know. You'll be hard-pressed to find men brave or stupid enough to face him again.
I still can't believe how strong he was. He humiliated us back there. The Warrior of Light included. Gods help us if he's next in line to the Garlean throne.
Loath though I am to say it, we should not be surprised. Before succeeding Van Baelsar in Alamigo, Xenos led the Imperial army to Doma, where he crushed the rebellion utterly. As a matter of fact, Doma remains in his charge to this day. Suffice it to say, Varus's heir is a peerless warrior and an accomplished general. The question is, how are we to contend with such a foe?
Let's take the fight to Doma.
Interesting. You are suggesting we kindle the flames of revolution in Doma once more and force Xenos to fight a war on two fronts?
For that, there would need to be someone left to fight on this front by the time you got back. Look, I'll not deny the plan as promised. And I feel for our brothers and sisters in Doma, truly I do. But I fear we lack the strength to see it through.
Have faith in your people, Master Kemp. Them and the Scions. Hold fast, rebuild, and when all is in place, we shall defeat Xenos together.
If you're going to Doma, I'm coming too. I want to help our friends there. And make sure nothing like this ever happens again.
Give us the time we need, and we will give you something far greater.
Very well. For all you have done for us, we will fight on. But be swift, comrades. Alamigo has suffered enough.
It goes without saying that the Scions alone have not the strength to topple a provincial government here or anywhere else, and I am quite certain the same can be said of the Doman Liberation Front. Nevertheless, we can but go and assess the situation for ourselves and see what can be done. Lest you doubt what good we few can accomplish, I would remind you that my grandfather and his 12 disciples once journeyed to these lands to save Eorzea and her people from certain doom. Brave souls with an impossible task, and Eorzea lives on. Our present mission may not be as monumental in scope, but it is no less important to the multitudes whom we would free from imperial oppression, whom we will free. Lies, damn lies, and pirates. Elise is contemplating the logistics of a journey to the Far East. Where men go as one, there is life, and where there is life, there is cause to hope. Our grandfather believed that, and so do I. But before we can forge ties with our friends in the Far East, we must first find a way to reach them. Othard is not exactly over the river and through the woods. I am one step ahead of you, dear sister, or rather, Tataru is, but before we discuss that, there is another issue I wish to address. Much as I would like it if we could all make this journey together, someone will need to remain to serve as liaison to the Alliance and the Resistance during this critical period. Moreover, as Y'shtola cannot be left unattended, then I should obviously remain. Very well, issue addressed. You know, Alphino, it would have been quicker just to ask, and markedly less patronizing. Yes, I suppose. Would you be willing to look after Y'shtola and provide support to our involved in the others? Yes, Alphino, I would. You see, that wasn't so hard, was it? Enjoy your trip, and don't you dare return with a gift. Oh, I would not dream of it. Right, then, sister. Alric, please gather your things. We are for Limsa Luminsa. Tataru should be here any moment with our ship's captain. So, we're going by sea after all. Is Merlyweb lending us our pick of the Crimson Fleet? Not exactly. You're right. In as much as we will be traveling by sea regrettably, it is simply not feasible for an airship to travel such distance without impossibly large fuel reserves, to say nothing of the inevitability of running afoul of the Empire's aerial defenses. But then it is equally infeasible to sail in an Eorzean Alliance vessel halfway around the world without the Empire taking notice, which leaves us with only one other option. Ah, speak of the devil. Sorry to keep you waiting. May I present you Captain Carvalian of the Kraken's Arms? The Kraken's Arms? Don't tell me you made a deal with pirates. Greetings and salutations, Scions. I take it from your comrade's tone that you no longer wish to proceed with our proposed arrangement. Not at all, Captain. Pray forgive my sister her outburst. She has ever been one to speak her mind. I, on the other hand, am the very soul of discretion, as many well-respected personages would attest from the offices of the Admiral to the highest houses of Ishgard. Ah, but where was I? Oh yes, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn do indeed still wish to employ your services. However, it is important that you are aware of certain extenuating circumstances. And intend on securing passage to the Far East. You came to us, knowing us to be the proud purveyors of said region's finest spices, which you steal from God-fearing merchants out on the high seas. Whatever privateering the Kraken's Arms may or may not engage in is strictly within the limits of the law as set forth by the indefatigable keeper of the peace. More to the point, we are pragmatists. I see considerable risk in aiding your cause and negligible profit. Well, I for one think the captain has a point. The five seas can be extremely treacherous, and many a poor, unfortunate soul has come to grief out there on the waves. Why, when we were in Ishgard, I heard the tragic tale of how the heir to the house of Durandare vanished at sea. Even now, nearly 20 years later, the poor count remains convinced that his son still lives and would pay a sultan's ransom for news of his whereabouts. Truly a tragedy for the ages, and a testament to the misfortunes that may befall us should we act without due consideration. But so long as you are prepared to abide the capricious whims of fate, I am willing to oblige you this once. That said, in light of the recent rebellion, I trust you understand that I cannot deliver you to Doma itself. I can only take you as far as Kugan in Hingashi. We will require time to procure sufficient provisions and make ready for departure. I humbly suggest you do the same. Suddenly, all those hours Tataru passed cavorting and capering at the Forgotten Night seemed rather better spent, did they not? That said, I had intended to press the point more obliquely, and there was something disconcerting about the pleasure Tataru took in making Captain Carvalium squirm. Alright, well, I think I'm going to pause here and pick up my playthrough next time as we start and take on Tales from the Far East. Until then.